Hello everybody, I hope you guys did have a good start to your weekend. Today we're going to be looking at the really oppressive cold temperatures that's going to be entering into the northern United States, including the Midwest and the Northeast and also the Great Lakes as well. And we're going to be just talking about that. And then I made some graphics at the end of the video, so make sure you do stay tuned. It's going to include my temperature forecast, and then I did do some individual city forecasts for some individual cities. Now, here is the National Weather Service. We have some winter weather advisories in effect in this purple, and that's stretching down the Rockies and then into Montana. And then we have another area of winter weather advisories for northernmost California and southern parts of Oregon. Winter storm warnings in effect for parts of California and the Sierras, and then also for parts of Wyoming. You could be seeing some winter storm warnings, and then flash flood watches in effect for parts of northern California. For the east, really going to be very quiet over the next couple of days, and then we're going to get some clippers coming in and some storms and some frontal systems coming in through the area, and that's going to lead to some more active patterns over these areas over the eastern United States. Now, here is your temperature anomalies, and this is going to be from the European model. I'm going to use the European model. We're going to show the temperature anomalies and then the low temperatures for this full week into all the way into next Sunday. So here is your temperature anomalies currently, and then as it's really going to fall as you get into tonight and overnight. You're going to see those temperatures fall over the north central U.S., including North Dakota, Minnesota, and Montana. It starts to really strengthen as you get into your Monday morning or Monday afternoon. You could be seeing some pretty warm temperatures over Minnesota into North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and then also, for the east, you could be seeing a lot of warm air, and that's going to be bringing some temperatures closer to 60 to 70 over the eastern seaboard, and really going to be a very nice, pleasant day to be outside if you live across the eastern United States as we get into our Monday. Now, into Tuesday, really gonna you're gonna be warming up over parts of the eastern 1/3 of the U.S., and then really cold air behind that system. Warm air is building as a ridge is starting to build over the western United States, and then cold air is infiltrating behind this front as the front is already out into the Atlantic. You can really see a defined frontal system, and then cold air overtakes by Thursday morning. By Wednesday night, the coldest of the air is going to be over Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin. That's going to be the coldest it's going to get from this polar vortex attack, you could call it. And then it's going to kind of infiltrate into the eastern United States, where the potential for some thunderstorms to set up over parts of southern Georgia, southern South Carolina, the Panhandle, Florida, southern Alabama. Some thunderstorms could set up, or at least some pretty heavy rainfall could set up along that front. And then it's going to move out, and the warm air will overtake for pretty much the rest of that time period. Now, here is your low temperatures, and we're going to start off with Monday. So here your coldest air is really bottled up over Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and it's really -30, -40 degrees over those areas, especially the northern portions of the state. And then as you start to move into Tuesday, colder air is starting to move into Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, and South Dakota. And then the coldest of the air by Wednesday morning, -30 over northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, eastern parts of North Dakota, and then even colder for northern Wisconsin by Thursday morning, and then colder air starts to move into the northeast by about Friday morning. Temperatures in the 20s and teens over those areas, and then it starts to retreat and warmer air starts to overtake those areas. Now, here is my forecast and what I have drawn up today. It took a couple of hours to make these, so please consider leaving a like and subscribing as I like to do these videos daily. So here is my forecast, and you're going to see, here's my temperature forecast. Now, we went over this one yesterday. This is for Sunday morning or tomorrow morning. So anywhere in these greens, you're seeing 50 to 60 degree low temperatures, or at least temperatures at Sunday morning. So right around 7 o'clock your standard time, or so Eastern time, Central time, Mountain time, and then also Western or Pacific time. So 50 to 60 degrees over the Gulf Coast, and then 40 to 50 in this blue. You also have another area of 50 to 60 right to the east of the Sierras, or to the west of the Sierras. 40 to 50 right along that in southwestern parts of Arizona. And then we have a 30 to 40 degree area all the way in this dark blue, and that covers most of the central United States. And then also for the Northwest, you have another area of 30 to 40, and the Pacific Northwest, right along the coast, 40 to 50 degrees, 20 to 30 degrees in this blue, in this purple, this lighter shade of purple, and that's going to be from the Sierras eastward up through the northern and central Rockies, the northern plains, and then into parts of the Northeast. 10 to 20 over three areas over the Rocky Mountains, into Denver, Wyoming, Colorado, and then into the northern plains. Also have a 10 to 20 degree area, and then for the Northeast, a lot of cold air concentrated by Sunday morning. 10 to 20 degrees over most of the Northeast. 0 to 10 degrees, so really approaching negative numbers as you get into parts of the interior Northeast and Maine, and then below 0 as you get just interior of the coast, where you could be in the negatives, and it's going to be more sporadic. I couldn't pinpoint every area, as you really don't know where that's going to set up. It's really the valleys that are going to get the coldest air. Now, here for Monday, you see a lot more colors introduced. You have this 60 to 70 degree area introduced, as you're going to have some warm air starting to infiltrate, and then you have below 0 all the way to the north. So within about 1,000 miles, you're seeing a big temperature difference from 60 to 70 degrees, so around 70 degrees to negative 10 degrees. So big temperature drop here as you go north, and from north to south. Now we have 60 to 70 over parts of western Texas, and then also eastern Texas. I believe that covers Dallas, and then also Houston, I believe. And then we also have for Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina, 60 to 70 degrees for your low temperature, or your Monday morning temperature. It doesn't necessarily have to be your low temperature. 50 to 60 degrees over California, and then also in for parts of the central and eastern U.S., excluding parts of the Northeast and also the Appalachian Mountains. 40 to 50 degrees in the Northeast and Appalachian Mountains, or at least for the coastal Northeast. And then we have 40 to 50 as well for parts of the Northwest and the Pacific Northwest. 10 to 20 degrees over the Sierras, and then 20 to 30 over parts just to the east of there and the north of there. 10 to 20 again introduced over parts of the north central U.S., 0 to 10 over a pocket of western South Dakota, northeast Wyoming, and southeast parts of Montana, and then 0 to 10 again over the north central U.S., the extreme north, and then below 0 over northernmost Minnesota and northernmost North Dakota. So that was for Monday morning. Here is Tuesday morning, and you can really tell where this front is. A big temperature gradient going from 20 to 30 degrees to 60 to 70 degrees within a pretty short distance there, probably about 600, 500 miles, something like that. And it's going to be a big temperature drop. So we'll start off with the southernmost areas, 70 to 80 degrees, really over the Gulf. And that's going to be where some areas could approach closer to 80 degrees near Miami, and then also right down at the border with Mexico, and then also for near New Orleans, and then into Pensacola, Florida, just to the east of there, or the west of there. Now 60 to 70 degrees climbing up the eastern seaboard, and that's going to be all the way from southern New Jersey down into Florida, and then to the west into Texas. That's going to be one of the warmest days of the week for the east. And then 50 to 60 just to the west and north of there, and that's going to touch all the way into the Great Lakes, where you could have temperatures in the 50s for your temperatures on Tuesday morning. 40 to 50 degrees just to the east of this front. Your front is located somewhere around here, and it's kind of bringing some snowfall potential for parts of the southern plains, but really not a lot, but more in the way of rain showers on the eastern side of this, and then we have 30 to 40 degrees over the west and then into the Great Lakes, and then really the heart of this cold over the Rockies and in the north central US, a wider area of below zero over here. Now, here's your Wednesday morning. So let's kind of compare these two. So this was Tuesday morning, and then 24 hours later, this is Wednesday morning. So you see this front has already passed. You have 70 to 80, 60 to 70, and 50 to 60 confined to the southeast coast. And then everywhere else is in the 40 to 50 all the way down to below zero. And below zero starting to go into parts of northern Michigan, northern Wisconsin, most of Minnesota, most of North Dakota, and some of South Dakota as well. Now here's Thursday morning, so this is going to be the coldest air of the season for parts, well, not the coldest air of the season, but fairly cold air, and the coldest of this week at least for parts of the Northeast and Great Lakes and the North Central U.S. But for the North Central U.S., the coldest was on Wednesday, so this wouldn't be the coldest air, but it will be still very cold, and you still need to layer up. So you have 4 areas of below zero, and that's going to be for Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and then also central northern parts of Michigan, and then also for parts of the UP of Michigan, northern Wisconsin, northern half of Minnesota, and eastern parts of North Dakota, and then also for the Rockies in Colorado and Wyoming. Now, I did do a couple of individual forecasts for different cities. We'll show this one again for Minneapolis, and then I also did one for Fargo, North Dakota, Chicago, Illinois, and then also for New York City. So here you go for Saturday or today. Not going to be too bad, and as well for Sunday, not going to be too bad, but then by Monday, really starts to cool down. High of 25 and a low -2, and then it starts to go very cold. And you're seeing not getting above not getting above zero as you get into your Wednesday. Tuesday, the high temperature will only be 4 degrees, so in the single digits. Then by Thursday, 19 degrees for a high, 12 degrees for a low, 33 for Friday, and that's going to be really your warmest day past Monday. So you also have a couple of clippers that are going to move through 1 to 3 inches of snow on Monday, and the potential for some snow on Friday. The exact amounts are uncertain, but I put less than an inch for now, since we really don't know how much snow you're going to get, or even if you are going to get snow. So under an inch for now seems like a good bet. Now, here is for Fargo, North Dakota. So you see we have 21 degrees for your high on Sunday, 3 to 6 inches of snow expected as well. So we have -1 for your low, then high temperature of 4, or actually that should be reversed. So your high temperature will be 10 and your low temperature will be 4. Kind of messed up there, but then your high temperature for Tuesday, -3 and a low of -20. -7 for your high, even colder on Wednesday. Your low rebounds, it's going to be -16 instead of -20, and then still very cold as you head into your Thursday, 15 degrees for a high, but it starts to rebound as you get into your Friday, and then another system is by, as you see another less than an inch of snow expected on Friday, and that's the same system that could be bringing snow to Minneapolis, and then really plummets behind that system again. 12 degrees for a high, 1 degree for a low, and we're gonna have to see maybe another polar vortex or at least Arctic blast coming in by early next week. Here for Chicago, Illinois, you're seeing pretty moderate temperatures, so nothing too cold. 40s for Sunday through Tuesday, and then really plummets as you get into your Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday rebounds again back into the 40s. So you see for Wednesday and Thursday, you're seeing those really cold temperatures overnight, 12 to 18 degrees for your low temperatures. And also something to note, potential for an inch of snow or less for Saturday. And it's going to be a fairly dry week. As that cold, dry air starts to infiltrate, you're not going to have a lot of precipitation to work with. So it's going to be mainly dry over parts of anywhere from Tuesday to Friday. Now, here, your final city that I did New York. So you have actually three threats, kind of a tongue twister there. Three threats for snowfall throughout this 7-day forecast period. So rain or snow, 1 inch, under an inch expected from that. And even though the low temperature is 54, that will be really, this will be right around 1 a.m. But 1 inch, it'll basically be on Tuesday, but just under an inch. So really, just a glazing of snow or ice there. And then the big threat here is for Wednesday morning, where you could be picking up 1 to 3 inches. Most of it will melt as your high temperature is 52 degrees, and then plummets right behind that, 33 degrees for a high, 38 for a high, and both of those lows are going to be 24. And then another inch of snow expected for Friday. Definitely could go up though. And notice how we only have one day in the 7-day forecast where you're not going to be expecting any form of precipitation, and that will be on Thursday, as you're in between that Friday system, this Friday system here, and then the Wednesday system that already would have occurred, where you could be picking up closer to 1 inch or 1 or 2 inches of snowfall. Now, if you did enjoy this video, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, as I did spend a lot of time making these weather graphics. And also, that will be me for today. I will be posting another video tomorrow, most likely. So be sure that you do have those notifications turned on. Anyways, guys, that was Eli the Weather Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.